Hey everyone, this is Michelle, and we are approaching that time of the year once again. And as I was thinking about how to draw near to the heart of Lent this year, I was invited to return to the place where it all began, and that is the book of Genesis. You know that Genesis opens not with a throne or with law or rituals, but with a garden. And the garden, as we see, is a place where God walks with man very close and breathes life into man, and he tends to man in such tenderness and such love. And as I was reflecting on this, it reminded me, of a simple truth, that Lent is really an invitation to return to this garden of love. It's an invitation, of course, for everyone, but I'm speaking specifically for us women. You know that too well. I mean, we're the ones who we're always tending, always pouring, always holding everything together. And sometimes at the cost of our own spiritual soil. Somewhere in the rush of doing and caring and managing, we forget that we too need tending. And so this year I wanted to create space for something gentle and real. And I just thought this place, the garden, was so fitting at this Lent. And so it is with this heart that I put together a 4-part podcast series called the Garden of Lent. And I have just been absolutely privileged to do this with my friend and co-host, Sister Rita D'Souza. She is from the Disciples of the Lord Jesus Christ congregation in the US. And we've had such a wonderful time creating this, and we've had an amazing time just exploring different movements of the spiritual life through the lens of the garden. Whatever we speak is raw, it's real, and it's so rooted in God's tenderness. We talk about pruning and letting go, not as some form of punishment, but as God really choosing to draw near to us, to reshape what no longer gives life. And then we look at, watering and waiting in those hidden seasons, when nothing seems to happen, when we challenge God's love, when we doubt His goodness. And yet when we see in some of those most tender places, God is strengthening roots that we cannot see. And finally, we reflect on flowering and fruit bearing. That is what we're made for. We're made to bear fruit. And so this quiet, steady work of God brings forth what we allow Him basically to do with our inner lives, and where we give Him permission to come in. And so through this podcast series, actually our hope is very simple. It is that these conversations give permission for you to slow down, to make room, make space for yourself and for God to breathe, and to let yourself be tended. And it's an invitation also to remember that Lent is not about proving yourself, it's not about trying to check off this list, but simply allowing God to draw near. And so here's an invitation for you to come join us personally on this journey. Make this little space for yourself in the day, even if it's a small one. Listen in. Let God meet you in the soil of your life, right where you are, because He knows that best. And I invite you to bring a friend along. There is always something powerful about women walking the season together, encouraging one another, speaking life into each other, calling each other out in truth on what is real, and then trusting God together that God is working all things for our good. And so join us, I would say, in this Garden of Lent, this 4-part podcast series that are available on my YouTube channel and on my podcast Unravel. They are accessible on all major podcast platforms. Alongside this conversation, I've created a resource companion that you can journey with through Lent. It gives you a gist and a summary of all of the conversations that we're having in the podcast. It gives you reflections to dig deep. It invites you to look at certain spaces in your heart with God and allow the Holy Spirit to carry you across this Lenten season. You'll find both the podcast and the written resource on my website, www.michellesilva.com, and of course in the description below. And so let's return to the garden and let God restore what we've been waiting and longing for, which is really His presence and His touch. God bless.